Morning.
Good morning.
There was a time in my life when I thought of myself as insignificant, and the things that I did to bring myself to the forefront, to tell people, here I am. And as I watch teenagers grow, I see they do the same thing that I have done. They do things that we may not agree with, but all they are trying to tell the world, I am here. And sometimes we look at other people and we condemn them because we cannot appreciate what they're doing because we expect that they do what we do. And then anything that is different, we have problems with. But I want to share this with you this morning, that all of us have a common beginning. Not knowing who we are and progressing through life trying to find out what we could be. We all are like leaves falling from a tree. And we are picked up by the wind and tossed and blown, not knowing which tree we came from. And some of us assume that we are oak, or some maple. Those, as I look around, some of you are from the Caribbean, believe you mango. But all of us see ourselves in light of who we think we are and where we may have come from according to our ancestry or the tribe that we came from. And some of us believe that we are where we were born. So nationality defines us. And some of us believe that the religion that I grew up in, I am that. And some of us say, well, I'm conservative, I am liberal, I am socialist, I am communist. Still not knowing who we are. Believing that we are what they say we are. So it's like a Pygmalion stuff. We become what we think we are. And some of us have gone to the best schools where a certain attitude was practiced. And we become that attitude. And then sometimes late in life, something hits you when the question is asked, who am I? And we have no answers. And some of our lives have tumbled. Some have been wasted because of the beliefs that others may have placed on us. Teachers have said to children, well, you will not come to anything. You will not succeed. And the child believes that. And all that hidden potential is lost. Some believe that we were born on the wrong side of the town. And therefore, because, then this is my life. On the wrong side of the town. Some of us believe that, well, I was born out of wedlock. Therefore, there's something wrong with me. Not realizing the only source of life is God. And it doesn't matter how you came to earth, you are still a spiritual being, trying to find who you are. There are some of us who have been told from childhood, you are special because you belong to this tribe. And when things go wrong, we have no answers. And some of us become addicted to different substances and different habits that again kill the potential within us. Who am I? In Genesis 2:7, it says, "Then the Lord God formed man of the dust from the ground, and breathed in his nostrils, and breathed life, and man became a living soul." That's the beginning. All of us began the same way. It doesn't matter who your parents might have been, which tribe you came from, which nation you came from, we all began the same way. The only thing that separates you and I is what we believe about ourselves. And beliefs are made up truths. They are not true. They are subjective. They are made up. And because they're made up, they have no truth. I want you to think about that so you could start to live, releasing all these thought patterns that have developed in your mind about yourself that may have prevented you from experiencing who you are. You are a creator. If you are not creating, then you have failed at living. You are progressive. If you are not progressing, then you are stagnant. That means you're dead. And some of us are dead to the beliefs that we have adopted based on our surroundings and what they said we are. Some of the historical facts we believed to be true. History is written from the perspective of the writer. It's not true. It's a perspective. Some of us are just perspectives of other people. When we discover the truth of ourselves, something happens. A connection is made, and then we can begin to grow. In Matthew 16:13-17, Jesus, speaking to his disciples, asked the question, "Who do men say that the Son of Man is?" Who do you think? What do the other people are telling you about me or telling you about somebody else? What I think about you is based on your actions as interpreted by my expectations. I was brought up believing that certain actions are right, certain actions are wrong. So when I look out of my mind, I judge you according to my schooling or that which I hold to be true. So when the question is asked, who do men say that I am? It is actually asking, how do people describe me based on their perception of me? Knowing that their perceptions of me, they have nothing to do with me. That's their perception. We all could see We do not see with these eyes, we see with our minds. Our minds are capable of interpreting the information that comes to it according to the patterns that we have established in our minds and hold to be true. If we are not willing to change these patterns, we go through life not realizing that wherever we are, whoever is there and whatever is there is an opportunity to begin to know a little more of ourselves so that we can react differently to the world around us. The answer that came back to Jesus from the disciples, they said, well, some people say you're like John the Baptist. Others say you're like Elijah. I've even heard some people say you're just like Jeremiah. And some said, well, when I've read the prophets, you are saying the same thing like some of the prophets may have said. And then he asked, but who do you say I am? I'm not talking about anybody else now. What is your personal understanding of me? Now, I could hear the disciples as they muttered. You know how sometimes when a question is answered and we don't want to speak out, we mutter. And we touch somebody and you say, well, he nuts. Didn't he ask the same question just now? What kind of confusion he's trying to put me in? He's trying to trap me. Because most of us do not like to take responsibility for the answers we give. We like to quote a book, or we like to say, we like to put in the forefront people we think that are big. So they will never say, well, I want you to do this. They'll say, the minister said. Is that right? So Jesus is direct. He's saying, well, what do you say? I don't want to hear what the minister says. I want to hear what you say. And from the back, a little voice says, thou art the Christ. Thou art the Christ. Well, let's just take a look at that. In other words, there's something special about you. You're very spiritual. Let's talk about the Christ for a moment. The Christ comes from the Greco-Roman language, put it that way. Christos, that comes from the Hebrew, Messiah, that means the anointed one, the leader of the people. In the ancient days, they gave the title of the leader Son of God or Messenger of God. It does not mean the Son, as we know, child of God. It's a title. Peter is saying, Jesus, based on, your command of your whatever you are saying, you sound like a person with authority. You sound like if you know. Therefore, I could ascribe to you a person of power. of authority, of dominion, a person of influence who can influence people. That's how I see you. There's something about you that when you get past what people say about you, I see something there that is individual, unique. In all of us, there is something that is unique, that is hidden beyond what men have made us to be. It is our duty and purpose in life is to look for that and to live it. There's the potential in all of us to shine. When Jesus said, "You are the light of the world," he's saying to us, there is something in us that we need to bring out that nobody else on the planet has. That you alone, when you let it out, you let out your truth. You are not those many personalities that you have displayed during your lifetime. You have become a teacher, but you're not a teacher. You practice teaching. So when people ask you the question, "Who are you?" "I'm a doctor." You're not a doctor. That's what you practice. You are beyond that. Because you could be the doctor today and be a lawyer tomorrow. So you could be more than that. Our striving is to bring out the perfect part of us that is us. When Jesus said to the disciples, "Be ye perfect as your heavenly Father is perfect," he's saying to us, all these facades that we have put around us to protect that self, the self needs to come out. Be yourself and stop being a pretentious, that word don't come out, pretentious person. I have a wide vocab, and sometimes simple words, three-letter words would like to come out, but a longer one would do. Isn't that nice? Realizing that beneath all of that fabrication that comes from our belief system, there's something that is pure, wholesome, and good that you don't need to pretend. When John was doing his ministry, John the Baptist, John the Baptizer, he said, "I must decrease so that he increases." John represents the illumined intellect that out of forming personalities through education and knowledge becomes. But John knew that beyond the personality, there is an individuality. There is this unique something that in order for it to come out, I got to drop anything that bears the likeness of the ego. You see, the ego is made up to hide the Christ nature. And most of us develop our ego so high. So the first thing Jesus said to his disciples, he said, "Blessed are the poor in spirit," meaning what? Blessed are those who have no ego. Wow. Who are not full of pride and presumptuousness. Who are not full of officiousness and the need for praise. Blessed are the simple, not simple-minded, the simple, the humble, the meek, And those who don't think much of themselves, who just come and could be like a little child so that they could experience the kingdom wherever they are. Sometimes we allow our titles to get in the way of our being happy. You realize that? We like titles because we could sit like Kay on the platform. I'm not saying you're doing that for that reason. But if it's in your mind, let it haunt you. It will not haunt me. But we like to sit in the seats up there to be seen of men. But our hearts are evil towards the same men who are looking at us. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about people who didn't come to church this morning. We are children of the Most High. All of us came through life the same way, heading in the same direction. At a point in time, the curtain will be pulled. And it doesn't matter how much money you have, how much titles that you have. You're going to end up with your back flat, with no life in the body that you try to present as you. Would your spirit live on? You know how your spirit lives on? By the deeds, the words that you leave behind. Eternal life is to let your light shine, that your light outshines you. That's eternal life. What are you bringing to the earth that can make a difference? You see, some of us are so petty. So petty that we allow the pettiness to build massive walls of separation between you and the people that God has sent in your life for you to give to. Because you see differences. When Peter had his experience with the Gentiles, he being Jewish and being very kosher, they had a big party planned for him. And of course they're going to have pig, back bacon, sirloin. And for those who like the trotters, we're going to have trotters too, in the form of sauce. And Peter was troubled. And that night, a table was set, and all the animals came down. And a voice said, "Peter, kill and eat, for what I have made, call not unclean." Our ego sometimes, when it gets inflated, we lose sight of who we really are. All we are is a spiritual being with flesh, blood, and the ability to move. All of us are just like that. It's our thinking about ourselves that makes the difference. Who do you say you are? The question is for you, right? Who are you? You are not what you practice. You are not what they say you are. You have to come to know who you are. You are a perfect expression of the divine. The vine flows through you, and all the sap from the vine is available to you. But if you keep cutting the vine, well, then you cut the sap. When you keep believing that You are something else, because some of us spend our entire lives trying to change who we are. Hello now. So we become very fashion conscious. Hello now. There was a few months ago, every day you would see this commercial about a slender woman walking, dancing, introducing a perfume. What was it called? De jour or something like that? Huh? Hello, you know. You went looking for it. What was it called? Can't remember. Huh? Marva, you must know. You have all of them. But you understand, we search out what they tell us we should use to become the model that they place on the TV. Right? Hello now. Talk to me. Am I wrong? I'm just asking. Am I wrong? When you have to depend on others to discover you, something is wrong. Knowing who you are, knowing that inside this onion, their layers could be stripped off every day, because every day provides me with a new opportunity to be a new person. If I came into the world believing I am this and I end as this, something was wrong. It doesn't matter where you were born. It doesn't matter who was mother and father. It doesn't matter which school you went to. If you end up not knowing who you are, you're still dunce. You have a right to move mentally, to move emotionally. When God was ready for Abraham, he said to Abraham, so you want to experience abundance in all good things. Well, the first thing you must do, Abraham, is get thee out of your father's house and from your family, because they hold traditional views that are preventing you from growing. If you're not willing to move, you can't grow. And Abraham moved. And it says that every place he went, when he left, he was more prosperous. Prosperity means inner growth that leads to fulfillment. If I, at 49, you're judging me. You feel you look at me and you figure I'm not 49. I could be whatever I want to be. You may think differently, but I know who I am. 49. Sure. If at 49 you don't have an inkling that the best is yet to come in you and for you and by you, there's something wrong. You know, in a lot of societies, when you reach a certain age and they see you doing things out of character for that age, they ask the question, what he thinks he's doing? Doesn't he know people his age shouldn't act that way? And I say, youth is an eternal part of my being. If I could think a new thought, I am young. do new things. It doesn't matter with what they say, it's what you know. Hello now. Spirit never dies. Spirit is life that is enthusiastic, is enlivened, ready to be invigorated at any time you want to go forward. You are the one that keeping yourself dead. Get up. I am the resurrection. I am the life. You got to tell yourself that. I am the resurrecting power of my being. I could lift myself in any area at any time to become whatever I want. I got to move. I can't settle for the past. You realize that if you search for the past, you can't find it because it's mental. Hello now. You know, sometimes many of us carry burdens from the past. When we look back at our lives and some of the things that we do or we did, and we see people from the past, some of us like to want to hide because we feel we'll be judged. But that judgment that we place on others does not come from others, it comes from ourselves. Jesus says, judge not, and you will not be judged. Learning to set the past aside without guilt or remorse causes you to live. Telling yourself every moment, what I did then was for then, based on the information I had then. Now that I am here, I'm a new man because I am thinking a new thought, and the old has passed and the now has come. Don't let the past haunt you. You know, but I know I'm not talking to you because you all were born angels and have lived angels all your life. You have never said a bad word or did a bad deed. You all are holy and sanctimonious. Anybody in the past life prior to today was a sinner? Put your hand up. See, that's what I mean. The sanctimonious will keep their hands down. All of us have made mistakes. All of us have sinned. The good thing is to know that you have made a mistake, grow past it, and continue to live. Knowing that I came that they could have life and have it more abundant. Not just abundantly, you know, more than what you could ever have had before. Isn't that nice? I think that's a good place to use the word nice, because the word nice is a funny word because the weather could be nice, the pole could be nice, the mic is nice, the paper nice. But I think living an abundant life is nice. Wake up to the truth that inside of you is a purpose. And that purpose is to live life abundantly. Don't allow what they may have said about you to stop you from living. To always keep your chin up. Keep a smile on your face. Not a pretend smile. Not one that fades. One that is permanent. Don't take yourself seriously. Know that people have the right to say what they want to say about you. You don't have to believe it. Hello there. You could call me Jack. You could call me Venus. You could call me Harry. I know who I am. You could say all manner of things against me. I know who I am. I am a spiritual being. Hello now. I am a spiritual being, always becoming. Every moment, every person I meet, every opportunity that I experience causes me to grow. And as I grow, I experience a newness that I have never experienced before. Yesterday, I had a wonderful opportunity. I was with my children, their family, my grandchildren. And you couldn't tell the children from me. I was the youngest one in the group. And sometimes I hear my children saying, "Why don't you behave like their grandfather?" Ain't no grandfather. I'm a life longing for itself. Wherever I am still longing for more life. And every person, every opportunity I get, I'm going to live. I'm going to dance. I'm going to carry on. I'm going to joke around. And I'm going to have fun. Because that's what life is all about. God bless.